Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you made it back. Today I am bringing you this cute little pattern and it is tatting. I just made a short sample here to give you an idea of how to do this pattern. It just has a lot of repeats and for the longest time I could not figure out how to do the ends of this pattern, but I finally figured it out and I am able to bring it to you today. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy this video. What I'm using today is this number 5 crochet thread. I don't remember if it's by Red Heart, but it is 100% acrylic. It is very fuzzy and I don't suggest it for needle tatting. You're also going to need a crochet hook because we are going to be joining our picots, and a tatting needle, which today I am using a number 5 handy hands, which is the largest size I have, and you're also going to need some scissors. So the pattern that I am using, you'll be able to find it in the description down below. It is available at freetattingpatterns.com, I believe. Definitely it's going to be in the description below. So yeah, let's get started with this tutorial. First things first is to look at the pattern, and if you look at the pattern, or at least the picture of it, you can see that the ends look like they start with a ring, with a small ring. And I'm thinking at the end it's going to be the third ring. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start pretty much on this side of the pattern for now. So the first ring I'm going to do is ring 3. Okay, so first things first, I am going to get a nice length of thread, and I'm going to thread my needle. So usually to do this, I just fold my thread over the eye of the needle and then just kind of work it through. Okay, and I'm going to leave a kind of a short tail, maybe about 4 inches tail on my needle, and then I'm going to get about an arm's span of thread. You might need less, you might need more, it just depends. Once you get used to making this pattern, you'll figure it out. Okay, once you get everything situated, make sure you have your ball yarn and your tail yarn, and we'll get started with the pattern. Okay, so we are going to be working on ring 3, which is right there, and you're going to do 3 double knots, picot, 3 double knots, picot, and 4 double knots. And this will be completing the third ring, and also the first ring of our pattern. So go ahead and close your ring up and knot it off, and you are going to be adding a chain after this ring. For the chain, you want to make sure that you are turning your work or reversing your work, which is what I did here. And I'm just going to make another knot to have my ball yarn on the right side. And all I'm doing here is making the chain as it shows in the pattern, which is the number 4 right there. Okay, be sure when you are finishing your chain to reverse your work or to turn your work, and make sure to knot off your chain and adjust it to where you want it. Get the curve just right, get your stitches just right. And yeah, and we'll be working on our first ring, which will be the number 1 indicated on your pattern, and it will be shown on the screen as well. For this ring, we are going to be doing 4 double knots and a picot, and the first picot is going to be attached to the second picot of the first ring. You'll see here. All right, it's time to close our ring. Be sure to knot your ring closed, and we are not going to be reversing or turning our work while we're making our rings. So yeah, go ahead and do that. All right, so now we're going to be working our second line of our pattern, and this is going to be our larger ring, and it's also going to be attached to the picot of our first ring here. Let's go ahead and close our second ring, or the line 2 in our pattern. And once again, all we're going to be doing is knotting off and not reversing our work. So go ahead and do that, and we'll start on the third line, or the third ring of our pattern. For the third ring in our pattern, we are going to be doing 3 double knots, picot, 3 double knots, picot, 4 double knots, with the first picot being attached to that last picot in our previous ring. Okay, let's go ahead and close our ring, and the next step will be to do our chain, which we would have to reverse our work or turn, and this is where we'll do it right here, right before we knot off our ring. Okay, and the chain is going to be worked exactly the same way as it's been worked for the first chain. Yeah, and this is where it's going to start repeating, and you do not have to attach any picots on the chains just yet. So just complete line 4 of the pattern. Okay, don't forget to reverse or return your work after you complete your chains, so that way you can have your rings sitting on the right side, or the correct side rather. The next step would be to just start repeating your pattern of going through 1, 2, 3, 4 over and over again until you get your length. I am going to go ahead and meet you back here on the first ring. So end on your first ring once you complete your length, and I'll be back here to show you how to move to the second row, which we'll be working on the opposite side. So we started with our third ring, or the third line of our pattern, and we ended with our first ring, or the first line of our pattern. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing our chain up and turning, so that way we can start working on the opposite side. So once you get your chain completed, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be turning your work or reversing your work and making your knot there. And I'm just going to show you how it's going to be sitting once you are completed with your entire work. And we're going to be working on the other side of our choker. So we ended with the first ring, and we're going to be working on the third ring right here. So don't forget to close your ring and to lock it into place. With this ring, we are going to be turning because we are going to be working on the chain next. The chain is going to be worked exactly the same, except this time we are going to be joining the picots. What I did here in the pattern, I joined the first picot and the fourth picot to the work below it. You'll see it here in the video. All right, once you finish that chain, go ahead and reverse or turn your work and tie off. And what's going to be happening after this point is you're just going to be repeating your pattern of going through 1 through 4 over and over again, and attaching your chains to the chains below. Be sure to end on a third ring so that way I can show you how to complete this pattern. I will go ahead and meet you there. Don't forget to end on a third ring, and yeah, I'll meet you there. Okay, you should have ended on your third ring, which you see here. I have 1, 2, 3 right there. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working a chain and attaching it to that chain right there. All right, once you finish your chain, go ahead and reverse or turn your work and tie off your chain. And the next step is to work your first ring right there and being sure to attach it to that last ring that we made. Okay, once you finish that ring, go ahead and turn or reverse your work and tie it off. Now we're going to be working our very last chain to complete this project. And this is going to be worked exactly the same way as every other chain in this project. So go ahead and do that, and I will show you how to attach it to the other side. So once you finish that chain, you are going to make sure everything is adjusted. You're going to get your stitches just right, and you're going to reverse or turn your work once again. And I'm just going to show you one more time. We're just going to turn or flip it like this. And I am going to place a knot just to secure that so my stitches aren't moving. And I am going to put my needle into this picot here from the back to the front. And I am just gonna make a knot right here. Actually, I make 2 knots, I believe, just to make sure it's secure. And then once you finish this part, you can go ahead and tie or cut your ends and hide them, which I show in the next clip. Okay, now all you have to do is block it and add some clasps or ties. Um, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you made this pattern and how it turned out. Again, thanks so much for watching. Keep on crafting. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!